Welcome back, guys. In this video, last video we got delivery of the donor car, obviously. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it, it's good. Basically, we got this car and we started stripping it. As you can see, there's not much left. It was actually fully built up last video, but now there's pretty much nothing. Not really nothing, but we're back to the engine, you know what I'm saying? And in this video, we're gonna finally actually make some things happen with this car. We're gonna try and build it up as much as we can in a 20-minute video, or however long this video is. So we're gonna actually do some work today. Hope you guys are happy with that, because we've only been like stripping it so far. So in this video, some of the things we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be taking off this crash bar firstly, which we put back on. We're gonna be taking it back off so we can get to like things like the support rail, all the radiators, the intercooler housing here. We're gonna be fixing all that. We're gonna be taking delivery of some new parts. We got a new bumper coming. We got new trim pieces. We got the under trays coming. We got everything we need to get this car back on the road again. Yeah, very exciting. So let's begin by taking off the crash bar and taking off these radiators and fixing this support. Let's begin.
The next part to come off was the auxiliary radiator, because as you can see, it was completely ruined. And with that off, it was time to remove the damaged structural rail so we could get to the rest of the radiators.
Like a matador, come on, I'm ready to go get it like a Labrador. Dog days done and I'm tired of the tug of war. Broke off the leash and I ain't going back no more. I've been better ever after like Barrymore. Hold up, let me reset.
And after draining all the radiators, it was time to get them off the car to do a damage review.
The moment did you notice that ain't up yet? You can put the pressure on me, I ain't trying to sweat. You just be stressed hard, beating like a drum set. Breathe, stretch, let it go. Everybody need a refresh, go.
But before that, we discovered a hole in the coolant hoses, which furthermore proves why we need to remove these radiators. Because although they look fine, there can be some nasty things behind them, which if not found, that can be the difference between your car running and driving, or your car having a nasty leak, meaning you have to tear it all apart again, which is not ideal. Speaking of the radiators, here's what we discovered.
Okay, so as you would have just seen, we got all the radiators and things off the car, and now that they're off the car, we can do a proper inspection on them and assess what is salvageable, what's not, and everything in between. So now that we have this main rad off the car, hopefully you can see because it's in the sun, but basically the fan that sits at the back of all the radiators and pulls the air through looks like it's giving this a bit of a kiss. You can see here, hopefully there's line, that's from the fan spinning and doing that, but that's not so bad. The worst part about it is right here and right these two spots here. You can see it's pretty deep, and these fins that sit in the middle, you can see there's tons of them. These fins are the things that actually carry the coolant around, and if they're damaged or popped, that basically renders this entire rad useless. However, it did have coolant in it, so that's a good sign. But we just need to assess it closer and assess if it really is damaged. There's another deep point there. And all of these are from the fan, obviously, and then just this mounting point here, I noticed was bent. So there's that, and also, now that this main rad is finally off the car, you can now see what we were talking about on why we needed to actually replace or take off this rad. If you look here, on either side, there is a mounting point for the whole radiators. Now, as you know, radiators clip together via these side things, but the main thing that holds them up and actually holds them in the car are these points. You can see this side, perfect. It's got the whole thing, the whole rubber grommet, all that. This side, however, does not have that, which is why we need to either take the one off the other car or plastic weld one onto this. Okay, so I've just been given the donor car rad. As you can see visually on the back of it, it's pretty much a-okay. However, the main part that we needed, this mounting point, completely shattered, like nothing at all, which is not good news. So we have to sort something out, but we will let you know what we end up going with, because it's a bit of a shame that we can't use that rad.
Okay, so we've come to the conclusion, or sort of the conclusion, that we think this rad is probably kind of stuffed, to be honest, because we think that obviously the core of the rad has been impacted, and the thing is, we have no idea how this thing is going to actually run when it's under pressure and it's on the car, because obviously, I don't know if you guys saw, but the hose into the expansion tank had snapped. It's like when the accident happened, so it would have lost all pressure straight away. So even though it wasn't leaking coolant afterwards, when it's put back under pressure, it might. And we don't want that. We don't want to run into that problem. So the plan is to swap this side, this like bracket side thing, onto this radiator, because this radiator is good and it has been under pressure. We've seen it under pressure and it's been fine. Hasn't leaked any coolant whatsoever. So this rad is good. We're going to try and see if we can swap these over. I think there's some sort of issue about the reason why it's difficult to do this is because they don't carry the O-rings to do this. But we're going to try and figure something out and see if we can get it done. But that's the plan, guys.
Alright guys, so you would have seen in the previous clip, we described how that tank on the side on the one radiator was toast. However, the other side, the tank was actually okay. One radiator's damaged, the other one wasn't. So, we've now sent those radiators off to a professional to get the one side put on the other one. I think Jake explained it before. But we've come back to the workshop now and we've noticed a few things. So the main one is, now that all of it's off, I've had a look. This coolant tank here that sends it into the radiators is actually cracked. And if I push it, it goes all the way through, which means when this car was crashed, some of the coolant would have leaked out from just here, because how gravity works. The tank's way up here, it leaks lower and lower. So that's the first thing. Second thing, this car has had a belt replacement since new, which is good because these typically last about 60,000 Ks per belt change. So we're not sure if that's warranted. And the third thing, that is not the best news. As Jake mentioned in the last video, the downpipes on this were done. This car has catless downpipes. These were fitted on. That's great news. But what's not great news is the shop that did it left a bunch of bolts off. So if you come around here, for example, on the intake where it bolts in there, that's gone. Up here where the intake sits on a mount by the rocker covers, that's not on. And that's just a few. There's quite a few other things like this heat shield. That's also just completely loose, which is not good. Whichever shop did this, shame on you. Jake just cut me off there. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna comb through this whole thing, and by the time it's done, this thing will be as good as new. So yeah, the next thing that we're gonna do, I don't know. Probably bolt the stuff back on tomorrow. Yes. We'll be back when we start doing something else.
The next day.
Okay guys, so now that we are waiting for a bunch of parts, what we're going to be doing right about now is rebuilding the interior.
Yeah.
So basically, we took out a few things in order to get the old airbag module out. We took out a few things in order to get the old airbag module out, which is actually that one, but it got recoded to clear the crash data, which means now we can put it back in and it will all be good. So basically all we had to do is take out that big center console trim there, and that's it really. It's gonna be kind of easy to put it back. We just gotta find the bolts for it, put that back in, put that back on, and happy days.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, probably, but hey, let's give it a go.
The water goes in the center console.
It does. Where?
Somewhere. I'm very worried about messing this up because, as you can see, it's got these little pins on the inside, and if I bend one, this thing's not going to work. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted.
It's a bit like... No, we won't. We'll have music in the background.
Little tech off.
Tech is W, bro. You got it in?
Okay, so that was actually a lot easier than I thought. Hopefully you can see. There's some screws, I've got them all in here. But actually getting the connectors that go into the pins was actually not too hard. So now we are going to screw the airbag module in. However, before we put this big center console back in, we have to go to that car over there and get one of these, a touchpad, because if you can see there, it's cracked. And we want to make sure this car is pristine, so we're going to use every bit off the donor that we can. So yes.
And so, it was out with the old cracked touchpad and in with the new not cracked touchpad. But right as we buttoned everything up, we came to a realization.
Alright, so really quick, we're finished putting the console in the original car. But this little module that you see down here, we have reason to believe that this might be Apple CarPlay for this car. And if I can put it in that one, why not? So Jake kindly is going to hand me this center console, red carbon fiber.
We're gonna plug it back in and get this screen working because we never actually tested if it had CarPlay, so now we're gonna test it. And if it does, probably gonna pull out everything we just did on the other car because we kind of want Apple CarPlay because it's like, why not? Apps.
And as you can see, it did in fact have Apple CarPlay. So it was time to tear all of our hard work apart again so we can get this in the new car. So while you watch us put in the new CarPlay, I want to ask you guys for a big favor. If you have enjoyed this video or any of our other videos so far and want to see more of our content, please consider liking the video, subscribing and leaving a comment down below, as it helps us out a lot as small creators to know what you guys like and dislike about the videos, so we have something to improve every video. So if you could do one of those three things, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. And with that, it was time for the center console to go back on for the final time so we could see if the CarPlay mod really works.
There we go, guys. That is CarPlay on the C63s pre-facelift, which doesn't usually have, just with a plug-and-play modification. It is that easy, guys.
We've done it after an hour and a half.
Nah, it wasn't that long. Look at that. You got full functionality. We got touch screen.
It's not touch
We
screen.
don't have a touch screen. It's not touch screen, but at least it's there. So yeah, pretty sick.
Look at
Airbag.
There we go.
Hopefully it doesn't blow in Christian's face.
Would not be good.
It might though.
Thank you.
And with that out the way, it's time to get to the bigger issue at hand, which is the airbags, as they unfortunately went off when this car crashed. The first one to go on is the steering wheel, so out of the donor it comes.
There we go.
And into the new car the wheel goes. And just like that, the interior is complete. And let's be honest, I really can't complain with how it came out. Now onto the good stuff, the engine. Okay, we're back. We now have the mounting points for the rads and the headlights. That's all good, everything's aligned. So we're now going to put the rads in, get some coolant in it, start it up, check for leaks, maybe drive it, and then do all of the service items. We have an update for the panels. Turns out they should be salvageable. We just need to double check with the panel shop once we find one. But it is looking up. So when we get to that, we'll let you guys know. So what we're going to do right now is figure out how these come off. Because as I said previously, this tank's cracked and this is cracked here. So we're going to have a go at taking them off and replacing them with the donor behind the camera. Donor parts behind the camera. Then we can start putting the rads on and all the other fancy stuff. So yeah. Now, as we've said before, we're not mechanics and sometimes we need a little bit of help. So here's Jake's dad sorting the issue with the coolant bottle, because let me tell you, it was really damn hard to get it out, and we only had one shot at doing this without breaking anything.
There's the crack we were talking about.
So now guys, we're putting on the new tank, the non-cracked one off the other car. How you get it off actually, you can't just like pull this tube out, you gotta push down on that collar there and then it will let the tube come out. Putting it on's easy, you just put it back in, you don't have to do anything crazy. So yeah, we're gonna put that one on now.
And with all the tedious stuff finally done, it's time to put all the rads back in so we can start this thing and finally hear how it really sounds.
Alright, now for the auxiliary. Bang. Alright, now these bottom bits go in the 2 mounting point holes at the bottom there. Guys, there you go. We got the full rad pack on. Look at all that. Got the auxiliary, the aircon, the main rad, and we plugged everything in. Got the fan plugged in. Got all the brackets plugged in. Side bits are on, so it's looking real good. Getting to the point soon, we'll be able to actually put coolant in it, and we're gonna do that very soon. Just got a few more things to do, hooking it up, get the coolant in it, get the oil cooler mounted on, and we might be able to take this thing for a drive, possibly.
And with the crash bar on to protect everything, we need to put the radiator support on, so that... what the hell? And with the crash bar on to protect everything, we need to put on the radiator support so that too can protect everything. And so the radiators can have some more support with all the coolant that is going to be in them.
Go ahead. Please. Should be 10 mil.
What clips in there? Down here.
Now that the supports are in, it's time for the final piece to go on, and that is the intakes. But before we do that, we found some extra goodies on the donor car, some performance air intakes.
Alright, so right now I'm going to be changing the filters on these intakes so we can put them on, get the car started, and hopefully it all goes well. So let's get this done, put some coolant in the car, do some maintenance possibly, and get this thing running. Let's go.
While we're putting on the intakes, I want to remind you guys to please be careful who you take your cars to, as this car was clearly taken to a bad shop to put the catless downpipes on, and it ended up with an endless amount of bolts missing, and worst of all, the mass airflow sensor was disconnected. This means that the car was running rich, which can result in a lot of issues I won't get into. So just please make sure you guys know who it is that you're taking your car to, because it can end badly in some cases. But enough of the problems. This car is looking great, and I bet it will sound even better. So let's chuck some coolant in it and get it fired up.
Okay, so everything is on right now, all the radiators, the oil coolers put up, it's all ready, and we just filled it with coolant as you just saw. So now, after how many months has it been?
6 months since we got the car, but it did run before, so.
We're gonna start it up again and check for leaks and make sure everything's good. All right, here we go.
Here's the handover.
The handover of the key. It's time to start it. Your phone's recording, right?
It is recording.
Okay guys, here we go.
You ready?
Do we not have enough battery? Oh my god.
Round 2.
Alright, take 2. Let's try again, guys. Alright, let's go. Let's go.
Clean start.
Come on.
It's not enough.
Still not enough battery? Alright, take 3.
Third time's the charm. Let's go. Please.
Come on. This has gotta be it.
Pretty good. Moving in.
Come on.
Here we go.
Alright, take 4. Alright, now we've got a whole nother car in the background. If it doesn't start, we've got a problem. Come on. There we go. Come on. My God. Oh my God. Holy. Alright guys, there's no leaks on anything. Car is running great. Me and Christian have done a good job with our dads obviously, and we've got it running again. Now it's just the panels, the paint, and everything else. But we've made some good progress. So we're gonna end this one here. Thank you for watching.
Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. Any feedback you have on things we've done. We'd very much appreciate to hear about it. But yeah, other than that, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.